Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy again. This is Dill Talk Sports. We're back with another episode, another weekly talk following the March Madness of not so much madness, but really good Final Four games, championship games. So kind of recovered for a little bit, but just ready to dive right in. We're going to talk about March Madness. We're going to talk about some baseball, some NBA, and some NFL with the draft coming up. Really excited for this episode. Really appreciate everyone joining along and all the support continuously. Keep living your dream. Keep believing in yourself, and God bless all of you. But let's dive right in. So, Final Four weekend started with Florida Auburn, which was a great game, a battle for the ages. Florida ended up winning that game 79-73. Auburn had to control that game for a lot of that game. But Florida just seemed, to be the better team in close games. It seems like I don't know who was on the talking heads yesterday, maybe Seth Greenberg or whoever and said Todd Golden was going to win a championship in his first 6 years at Florida. Well, after yesterday, he won a championship, so he must be that great of a coach. It was a great win by Florida. But let's talk about the Final Four real quick and the Florida game. But Walter Clayton Jr. in this game really carried Florida to victory after Auburn was dominating most of the game. Janai Broome going from a zero-star recruit to being one of the best players in the country is also a really, really good sign to see. Went to Morehead State originally and then finished up at Auburn. So love to see, kids growing and balling out, when they're overlooked and all that kind of stuff. So tough game there for Auburn. I think they had the opportunities and the chances to win that game, but Florida just proved that they've been the best team in the country all year and kind of proved that in that game. Next game was the choke of the century. Houston and Duke. I myself will say that I turned it off with about 4 minutes left when they were up 14 points. And I was out with my friends and we were doing some stuff and I get a text from my buddies. Said that's one of the craziest endings I've ever seen in my life. Like, what happened? So I'm like, what do you mean? And I look at the score and Houston won that game. And I said, are you kidding me? You're up 9 points with 2 minutes, 14 with 6 minutes. And 6 with 30 seconds, you lost that game, Duke. That's just unacceptable, and that's terrible coaching. John Shire, I gave you all your shout-outs, and I've given you nothing but credit, but this one's on you, man. You can't choke that game away and be a championship-level coach at that point. I mean, you have Cooper Flagg, who's a bully. You got Con Nukel. Tyrese Proctor, man, we all make mistakes. That was a tough game by you to choke away that game, but you know what happens. So Duke with an all-time choke. The call, you can call the phantom call with Cooper Flagg getting the rebound. That's a questionable call. It's a terrible call. I completely agree with that, but that doesn't change the fact that Duke scored one field goal in the last 10 minutes of the game. I mean, that's not okay. That's unacceptable. That's bad That's bad offense. That's bad coaching. You just can't do that. You can say whatever you want about the rebound and that could have cost them. It could have, and it could have. I don't disagree. It could have cost them, but it didn't cost them enough in a way that they only scored one field goal in the last 10 minutes. So whose fault is that? At the end of the day, that's Duke's fault, and they lost that game, and that's what happens like that. So yeah, I mean Duke, it's just unacceptable with the choke. Cooper Flagg, he had opportunity at a game-winning shot, came up short. He missed. People were gonna say, oh, he's not good, not good. It was a tough shot nonetheless. He did, he missed the shot. Happens. Everyone misses shots. I mean, Michael Jordan don't. LeBron does though. So if he's LeBron, sure. If he's Michael Jordan, no. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, LeBron misses game winners. MJ don't miss those, baby. Wet ball. So yeah, really a tough game though for Duke. I honestly almost think that Duke losing that game might make Cooper Flagg come back for another year, and I honestly really like that if he comes back, because I think that that team's really good, and I think he could do with a little bit more development and a little bit more college. A lot of these players that spend a lot of years in college come in the NBA, and they're a lot more NBA ready than one and dones, unless you're just an absolute superstar. But you look at a lot of the best players in the league; they spent some good time in college, and Brogdon's a perfect example. I mean, I'm not saying he's top 20 player in the league, but he's a really, really good, consistent player. Derek White. Probably the most underrated player in the NBA. Honestly, Celtics wouldn't be the Celtics without him. Spent 4 years in college, maybe 5, because I know he played at UCCS, University of Colorado Springs, and then he went to CU. But I remember me and my buddy watched him at UCCS when they played Metro State in Denver, and dude had like 50, 60 points. And I was like, bro, this is the best player I've ever watched. Turns out it was Derek White, and now look at him hooping all day. So good for him. But let's dive into the national championship game. You know, it was a whole battle throughout the whole game. Really thought Houston was going to pull away the whole game. They were up 12 at one point, and then I kind of stopped watching for a little bit and started watching my show. And my girlfriend goes, hey, they're only up 1. And I was like, what? Excuse me? And Florida just executed when they needed to. You know, Houston had 3 turnovers at the worst time, and you know, Florida executed when they needed to. They came up clutch when they needed to. When Houston's lived in close games all year, they just didn't execute at the time. And not to get up a shot in the last second is also unacceptable. You know, you do that and you throw the dribble down, you can't touch the ball. I mean, that's just unacceptable, man. I just cannot rationalize that and fathom what you guys were doing there and the choke that happened there. So, really disappointing loss for Houston, but congrats to Florida. Congrats to Todd Golden. You know, you guys deserve it. It was a really, really good opportunity for you guys. And, you know, you ended up showing and winning. And, you know, that's really what it comes down to was the thing it is. So let's see what the mock drafts have to do. Let's dive into the NFL now here. You know, right now this mock draft has, where's Shedeur? Wow, it has Shedeur way down here. Has Shedeur as the 14th best player. Okay. So NFL draft coming up in 2 weeks about. First overall pick is Tennessee. You know, I could see Tennessee going with Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward has proven to be the best quarterback that we've seen. No, really poised in the pocket. You know, had a lot of years in college. You know, developed his game. Went to Washington State to begin with. Played under my old coach Jacob Dickert. Went to Miami. Also dominated there. The defense was terrible, but he balled when he needed to. But I think I could see Tennessee going that direction. You know, I don't think he's, based on what I've seen just in college, I don't think he's going to, you know, he's a world changer. But if Tennessee puts the right pieces around him, I think he could be a really, really great quarterback. Just depends. A lot of quarterback in the NFL, I think, comes down to coaching and getting the right pieces around him, man. I mean, people, when the Bills drafted Josh Allen at 7, were like, oh, that's a horrible pick. He'll never be what he is. But, you know, had a good coach that really pushed him to be his best and developed him. And these are the things that matter, man, because if you don't have good coaching and have people to believe in you and see what you're good at with your skill set, you know, it's just not going to go the way you want it to go. So I think Tennessee's going to go with that pick. I like Abdul Carter as well as a pick. I think he's a great defensive end, outside linebacker type. You know, where Micah Parsons' number, went to Penn State, all that kind of stuff. So watched him when they played SMU when I went to the game, and was a really, really good player. You know, disrupted the whole game, messed everything up. So, you know, can't really say enough about him. But the main questions I have are Travis Hunter. Where's Travis Hunter going to go? I think Travis Hunter. People think the Browns at 2. I think Travis Hunter should play both ways. I know that's crazy to say, but you know, play majority one way, so you have him there. But I think you should play both ways. And in big situations, he should be on the field. He's one of the best players, one of the best athletes, one of the best receivers, whatever he is, best corner. He should be playing both ways. Don't care what you say, play both ways. That's what we need. You know, Shohei Ohtani, it's a lot different baseball. You know, you're not running as much, not as much hitting, but nonetheless, he should play both ways. And then, you know, Ashton Jante, I hope he goes to the Bears. I saw the Raiders in a mock draft picking him. I don't think that's the right pick for the Raiders, just because the Raiders got a lot of holes to fill, and Ashton Jante is not just going to save that team with no O-line, no D-line except Crosby, no corners, no anything, no receivers. So, you know, not really a quarterback. I don't think Geno Smith is the answer. I haven't thought Geno Smith was the answer ever. He was good for the 2 years ago because they had no film on him for about 5-10 years, and then he's back, and then this year he kind of went back to the Geno Smith that we know. So I think that's a good Band-Aid quarterback, but I don't think that's a quarterback for the future, clearly. So, and then Shedeur Sanders. You know, a lot of people have him going to 3 to the Giants. I honestly think that could be best case scenario for Shedeur. I personally think that him sitting a year behind Russ and or Jameis Winston is one of the best things that could happen to his career. You know, Russell Wilson, say what you want about him, but he's a great leader. He's a great teammate and a great quarterback. You know, Super Bowl winner. had some really, really good years and really, really good stats in those years. And has been around the league a long time, so it can kind of train Shedeur and help Shedeur figure out, where he needs to go and what he needs to do better and whatnot. So really excited to see what's going on in the draft, to be honest. I think it's going to be a big time, but let's dive right back into the NBA. So NBA, my favorite time of the day, NBA. Nuggets, don't know what's going on, man. Just disappointing as all heck. They're just not the team that I thought they were at all, to be honest. Really thought they were going to be better. 4 straight losses for them. Jamal Murray's been out for every single game, so looking like Jamal Murray is actually a very, very vital piece of that team. Jokic continuously has the best offensive rating when he's on the floor, and then they have the worst offensive rating ever when he's off. So if that doesn't say he's MVP, he's not. You're tripping. Take Shai off the Thunder, they're still winning about 40, 50 games. They are. I don't think Shai's that much of a game changer. He gets points, but he's a ball hog. Doesn't get a lot of assists. Foul baits a lot. I'm just not a Shai person. I think people can say the same thing about Harden, but Harden didn't do it differently. Harden also would average 10 assists a game. Shai just foul baits and shoots the ball and ball hogs the whole game. So Nuggets, we're gonna see what's going on when it comes to time, but I'm worried about the Nuggets, to say the least. I think if they get an early exit this year, Calvin Booth, who is going to have to make some decisions or get fired because he's made nothing but wrong decisions since he's been here. He literally was handed an amazing team and choked it away. Typical. Give me the job. I'll make him a championship team again within a year. Win 5 championships in a row, no question. So, kind of sat around at the trade deadline, didn't really do much, and kind of thought whatever. The Lakers, I don't think are really a force to be reckoned with until LeBron gets off the team. LeBron continuously points blame to all of his teammates, never introspects and takes blame for himself, and I think that's a cancerous type of teammate. I don't think that's a teammate you want on your team. When they lost that game to the Warriors, everyone blamed Luka, but LeBron got no blame. It just continuously shifts. It was first AD, now it's Luka, then it was D-Wade, then it's all these players consistently getting blamed by LeBron because LeBron's got to protect this little fragile legacy that he has. And you guys can say what you want. I might be you're a hater or whatever, but it's the truth. Look at AD now that he doesn't have LeBron holding him back. Averaging like 30 and 12, 14. LeBron holds these players back, man. Austin Reeves is another great player. I think once the Lakers get rid of LeBron or LeBron retires, and I think the Lakers will be in a better situation. I really do. I think Luka might leave, though. I hope he leaves, to be honest with you, because I want him to go to Denver. But we'll see what happens there. I think the West is the wild, wild West this year. It's going to be a really interesting playoffs. I think if the Warriors play the Lakers in the first round, that's a Warriors win. I think the Thunder could be surprised depending on who they play. Nuggets could also be surprised depending on how they play based on what I've seen the last couple of games. But if Jamal comes back healthy, we'll see what happens because Jamal's a big piece of that team. I think the Warriors are really a force to be reckoned with. The Rockets are also a force to be reckoned with. Ime Udoka has some boys playing defense like they got nothing left in life except playing defense for the Rockets. So that's a good team. I think the East is pretty open. Actually, not pretty open. I mean, pretty close. I think the Celtics are, of course, a really good team. I think the Bucks could make some noise just because of Giannis, but really other than that, I don't think the Knicks could make any noise. Sorry, Knicks fans. Maybe if Suni Lee's there every game because OG Anunoby wants to go crazy. But I don't see it from them. I think the Cavs could make some noise. I really do. I think the Cavs are a really good team. TEAM. They actually play as a team, and I think that goes a lot farther than people want to give it credit for. This super team era is done. The team era is back in. Look at the Spurs, how many championships they won. The Nuggets, they won their championship as a team. Celtics won their championship as a team. So that's really what I think about that. But that's what I got for NFL today. Let's jump into, NBA. Let's jump into golf because the Masters is this weekend, and I got some Masters predictions. I got a couple of people I think are going to win. So we're just going to throw those off. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below, but this is what I think. So we got Bryson DeChambeau, Brooksy Koepka, Scotty, Rory McIlroy. And then a dark horse, I'd say there is probably Morikawa or Ludwig Aber. I think those are the two that could probably, or those are the couple that could probably win. I'm really excited to see. Haven't been watching golf much this year because it's been early in the season, but love this time of year. Love when all the sports start happening and this happens. So just popped up on my screen. They have Shedeur going to the Saints. I don't think he's going to fall to 9, but if he does, that might not be the worst thing in the world for him to go to the Saints. Who do the Saints even hire as their coach? Let me look. I don't even know. Saints head coach. Oh, it's Kellen Moore, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's honestly. I don't think that's a bad move for them. I think that could be really good for them, and that could make it happen. So we'll see what happens there. But jumping right into baseball, Dodgers started off really hot. They're kind of coming back down to earth, which you love. Yankees the same kind of way. Mets have been playing good. Cubbies, though, let's not sleep on my Cubbies. Cubbies are balling. White Sox, typical White Sox, but baseball is so long of a season. I know I don't really got a lot of analysis for you right now, so we'll see. Same with NHL when the hockey things drop off. But with the NHL, shout out Alex Ovechkin beating Wayne Gretzky's record. I'll love to see Wayne Gretzky there supporting him and kind of just being very graceful and giving him and being happy for him, beating his record. So couldn't have happened to a better person. Really humble, great player still at his age. Really humble and just a chiller for the boys. So shout out Ovechkin, you deserve that award. Capitals are really good this year. Could make a lot of noise in the playoffs and do something there. So we'll see. Really excited for the next couple weeks of sports. I think it's going to be a really good time. But this was a quicker episode today. Got some stuff going on, so trying to just make it through and give you guys everything you need. But just want to thank you guys every single day for joining along on my stream and following along on my journey. I couldn't do this without you guys. I just want to say thank you guys. God bless. Keep following your dreams and be you, and everything will come to you. All right, deuces.